All right, ladies and gentlemen, this last sheet that you were working on, there was a big difference in how you solve for number 2, B, and C. And I want to do a little video on just explaining that really well to you. So, when the variable's in the bottom, that's the title of this video, and that's what we're going to talk about. Take a look at this example. So, here's my hypotenuse. They didn't tell me anything about the hypotenuse, so I'm not going to use it. This is the angle they're giving me. This is the opposite side to that angle. This is the adjacent. So which trig ratio uses opposite and adjacent? The answer is tan. So we have tan of 25 equals x over 328. Now stop there. I just want you to stop and look at that. Come over to this question, a completely different question. Here's my hypotenuse. Here's my angle, and that's going to be opposite. So which trig ratio do I use for opposite and hypotenuse? Sine. So it's going to be sine of 70 equals 6.7 over x. Now those two questions are fundamentally different because of where the unknown is. The unknown in this one that we want to solve for is in the top, and the unknown that we want to solve for is in the bottom. Keep aware of what you're doing. Both of them actually get solved the same way. This is what I'm telling you to do. Put both sides over 1. So what you've done now is you've created a fraction equals a fraction. We're going to go to our science teachers that taught us whenever we have a fraction equals a fraction to cross multiply. I'm not doing anything different on either side. So what's going to happen is the 328 gets multiplied by the tan 25. And the 1 gets multiplied by x, which is simply x. Over on this one, the x gets multiplied by the sine of 70. And the 1 gets multiplied by 6.7. Now look at these two. There's a fundamental difference between them. In this one, the x is by itself. It's isolated. We're done. We're good to go. Grab a calculator. Put in tan of 25. Times it by 328. And you've got yourself an answer. You've got x equals approximately 152.95. And you're done. And that's because the x is isolated. It's by itself. Think about those movies, an isolated confinement, okay? Isolation, all by itself. Compare that to this one. The x is not isolated. It's got a buddy here. What's the buddy doing to it? Well, this is sine of 70, and it's multiplying by the x. So you have to say to yourself, if I want to get rid of multiplying by sine of 70, what's the opposite of that operation? Well, the opposite of multiplying is dividing, right? So we're going to divide this side by sine 70. You know what happens when you do that? You get x. You know why? Because you did the opposite of multiplying by sine 70. That's why you did it. But you want to keep the equality. It has to stay equal. Whatever you do to this side, you have to do to this side. So we have to divide by sine 70. So what we have now is x is now isolated. It's all by its little lonesome, which means we grab our calculator, we put in 6.7, we divide it by 70 sine, you hit equals, and I get a final answer of approximately 7.13. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you handle it. And notice there's no difference. Cross multiply, cross multiply. The only question is it isolated when I'm done, or do I have to do a division? That's it. Make sure you can do these questions. Keep working.